we are gearing up for a big day at the southern border with both President Biden and President Trump scheduled to make very different visits. Biden will be in Brownsville, Texas, planning to meet with Border Patrol, law enforcement, local officials there. While just over 300 miles away, Trump is stopping in Eagle Pass. Both touching down in Texas, but the current impact of illegal crossings in each area, again, dramatically different. Just look at these numbers. We've crunched them for you here on your screen. In the past week, Eagle Pass has seen more than 1,200 illegal crossings compared to just 34 in Brownsville. That's where President Biden will be visiting later today. For more insight into these dueling trips, I'm joined now by Republican Texas Congressman Pete Sessions. Congressman, thanks for taking the time with me this morning. I do appreciate it. President Biden's trip today is the second. It's only the second during his presidency after he visited El Paso in January of last year. Is there something specific you're hoping to see from him, or is it too little too late?
Well, in fact, we did want the president and other members of his cabinet to come down to not only Texas and the border, but across the border. Brownsville, Texas is a different and unique situation. Eagle Pass is a far easier task for those who would illegally come across. But what he will see is the Texas National Guard, and he will see the Texas State Troopers, Department of Public Safety, who have jet boats who are doing their job to protect Texas, not only there on the Rio Grande, but all the other states also. And the president quite likely will see troopers from other states who have come to help, but not his federal components. It is the state governments that are protecting our border because their towns and their states have turned into battlegrounds as a result of this. And so we're delighted the president's there.
Yeah, and as I mentioned off the top, President Trump will be in Eagle Pass today. That's really been labeled the epicenter of the crisis. Do you wish President Biden had chosen a different location?
Well, perhaps I do. He would come there and he would see how effectively law enforcement, if they are asked to do their job, can do their job. But down at the tip of border in Brownsville, it's still a different circumstance and requires a great deal of effort on behalf of law enforcement based upon the circumstance at the mouth, almost the mouth of the river. So it is important for the president to receive, just as he did when he was vice president from Jay Johnson, information about the threat, the national security threat that is daily along the Texas border. Millions and millions of pounds of drugs have been seized. Millions of fentanyl pills come across daily. And this happens primarily through those people who are not caught, but they are getaways.
Yeah.
And their packs are full. It is a problem. So the Democratic Party owns this problem.
And let me ask you, Congressman, before I let you go, as you know, these visits come at a time when legislation to address the border just can't seem to come together. The bipartisan border deal in the Senate died before it even got to a vote. Some have blamed Republicans, taking cues from former President Trump for this move. NewsNation actually asked your fellow Texas Representative Dan Crenshaw about this last night. Let's take a listen together.
I'm not willing to let in tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands more illegal immigrants just to own Biden, right? That is a bad stance to take. We can put things into law that force Biden's hand.
Do you agree with Representative Crenshaw there? Should lawmakers go back to the negotiating table now for a new border bill?
Well, we've got to understand that what James Lankford did from Oklahoma has spent a long, long time in his debate, discussion, and putting the words together. In the House, we already know what they are. It's called H.R. 2. And so for some reason, our leadership just won't put H.R. 2 in these bills, pass them, and confront the president, confront the Senate, and make them negotiate off this. So that's the answer. And I think Dan Crenshaw is dead on. We are not going to accept a weak New Deal. And that is exactly the way it appears to every Texan.
Well, Congressman Pete Sessions, I have to leave it there, but thank you for your time ahead of today's visits. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.